123 Cents. This is the third and final installment of my one-on-one or one-on-two interview with Lex Luger and Nikita Koloff. In parts 1 and 2, both kind of talk about their faith and what they're doing today. We're also going to, in this third interview, take a look back on their wrestling history. They're going to talk a little bit about wrestling and what they plan to do, what they hope to do in the future with the WWE in terms of the Hall of Fame. Two men that I definitely think deserve a shot at the WWE Hall of Fame. I look forward to hopefully seeing that happen one day as we try to make it down to each and every WrestleMania and Hall of Fame ceremony. So, a reminder, please click on the subscribe button, tell your friends about my 123 Cents, and be sure to check out our blog, and also head to Facebook and Twitter and search for my 123 Cents. Thanks for watching, everyone. Got plenty of great memories from the Four Horsemen to your run with WWE as the narcissist to the whole All-American back
Slam
to the
her
WWE.
around the world.
Yeah.
And also, the Horseman days were phenomenal. What an opportunity to come into professional wrestling and travel with that group, and they were the most revered yet hated group in wrestling, and I got put right in with them. What an opportunity! And God was guiding my life back then. You might didn't acknowledge him. And yes, definitely WB and Narcissist, and then Alex Express was outstanding, a real highlight. And then for me, really, the late '70s with NWO and the ratings skyrocketed and buildings were sold out everywhere, and that was an incredible time, both wrestling against NWO, and then we formed that WWE Wolfpack, the Red and Black. That was Sting and myself and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, and we just had a tremendous response to that as well. Conan. So we had a great group there, and that was a real highlight for me as well.
Very good. And Nikita, you had some incredible runs in NWA, WCW, former U.S. champion, feuding, of course, with Lex, and teaming with Dusty Rhodes. Your feud with Magnum TA really sticks out to me, too, watching that growing up. What were some of your favorites or some of your highlights?
Yeah, and it is. There are challenging. It's challenging every time you get asked that question to pinpoint certain matches or certain. But there are highlights. The best of 7 series, as you mentioned, against Magnum, is often mentioned by probably a majority of the fans. The switch from bad to good, and teaming up with the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff, and that switch was certainly a highlight. The first ever Great American Bash, Charlotte, North Carolina. 13 months into the business, and I'm wrestling for the World Heavyweight title against Nature Boy Ric Flair in front of 35,000 people. Of course, that has to be listed up there as a highlight as well. And just so many wonderful memories. The Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom, and Ravishing Rick Rude, and just kind of go down the list, of guys that I stepped in the ring with, guys who consider to be legends of wrestling, to team up with Uncle Ivan and be able to have some classic tag team matches with Uncle Ivan, and just lots of wonderful memories in my career.
And let me ask you this. A lot of guys we've seen go into WWE after wrestling for WCW or vice versa. You stayed, though, with WCW, NWA, and wrestled for the AWA for a while there, too. Why did we never see you in the WWF?
Well,
we have now.
He says
with WrestleMania and the Hall of Fame induction last month.
Yeah, I got to.
Back in April.
I got to experience my first WWE event.
I dragged him there.
So you were at the Hall of Fame?
Well, no, I was at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, in the crowd.
At the Hall of Fame induction. And I was at my first ever WrestleMania event this past year in Atlanta. But to answer your question, the only reason, really, I was a loyalist to the NWA. Jim Crockett Promotions, Jim Crockett in particular, gave me my break into wrestling, and some know the story, many don't. It's quite a fascinating story, a unique story on how I broke into wrestling, and then even as unique as I broke in walking away from it. But all that to say, so I felt a loyalty to the NWA, although I certainly could have leveraged that for
like
more,
I did.
Yeah, him and many others. I could have leveraged it to get more money from the NWA and or bail off to the WWF at the time. The AWA was, I only did some things with them because Vern Gagne actually did some partnership with Jim Crockett, and we did some co-events together. which is why I was willing to do some events for Vern Gagne. But I am, myself and Sting, to my knowledge, myself and Sting are in a very unique, rare category or group, in that we're the only two that have never worked for Vince McMahon. And so that's kind of an interesting category to be in. But there were opportunities, but I guess the long and short of that story is I just felt a real loyalty to the NWA.
And both of you guys mentioned the Hall of Fame. I was in the crowd that night too in Atlanta. Well,
were you really?
yeah,
Did you see us down
yeah.
there?
I didn't see. I expected to see you there, Lex, because
DDP.
No, it was great.
Sit next to DDP.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Is that something you guys look forward to one day being inducted in? Is that something that a wrestler who kind of reaches that legendary status strives for after putting so many years in the ring?
I don't know about Nikita, but for me, it would just be a tremendous honor if someday I was inducted in the Hall of Fame. But really, we're here to give the honor and glory to God now with our lives, and serve others, and be used open vessels for Him to bring people to Christ and let them know He's in our lives. So, I mean, but would that be an honor and something that would also help, hopefully, to use as a platform to continue in ministry as well? It'd be wonderful, definitely.
Yeah, for myself, I guess I could ditto what Lex said in that. It certainly would be an honor to be extended that invitation. Now, I've been honored to be in a couple others. One in Iowa, in the there's a amateur slash professional Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, with some legendary guys there, and that in itself was quite an honor. And if I get that offer or that invitation from the WWE, like Lex, it would be an honor. But at the same time, I would just see it as just another opportunity, really, to give the honor to God and to use that platform really to continue to get the message out of our transformed lives, or my transformed life. So
Spotlight on Him.
yeah, absolutely.
Anything else you guys want to add tonight?
Well, for me, it's because a lot of people will ask, we're doing more and more stuff together, and I hear more and more comments. We just came off a missions trip to Jamaica, where we saw 21,100 decisions for the Lord. That's actual cards filled out. People saying, "I want to give my life to Jesus," and lots of comments. We did some health seminars on the cruise ship itself, and then of course the ministry on the island, prisons, and a big crusade on the island. And really to be able to tag team together and do what we're doing now in ministry, as opposed to entertaining people for a living in the ring, it is so much more valuable and so much more rewarding than anything I could have ever fathomed or would have ever dreamed of 20 years ago. So it's incredible for me.
Yeah, and that was a great trip. I got my jersey here sold out. They gave me a jersey down in Jamaica there, and it is very, very rewarding. And as we talked when we first opened the interview up, for me personally, the peace I now have of just trusting in Him and resting in Him to lead and guide my life, instead of me thinking I knew how to direct and steer. It's much more peaceful for me now to have God steering, and me just sitting in the back and being a passenger and just do my very best each day to stay in the center of His will, rather than try to blaze my own path, I used to think. So I'm very thankful for that.
I got one other thing I want to add too.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was known in wrestling as the total package, and I like to tell people now he's gone beyond the total package to the complete package now, in having given his life to Christ. And really, we've kind of taken off on that whole moniker of the total package. And our heart's desire now, as God's teamed us up, is to see people physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, even financially healthy in all those areas of their life. And we feel that the Lord's given us a lot of education and over the years, and that we can now assimilate that information and disseminate that information to other people. And that's exciting to be tagged up with this guy.
Stay tuned, see what God does with this.
Exactly.